CAUSENETIC family.
Hey, welcome to the CAUSENETIC podcast.
Powered by the YMCA of Metropolitan Dallas.
CAUSENETIC means being a person or thing that gives rise to a phenomenon that is dynamic or energizing.
We're tackling topics and telling the truth.
And I'm Keith Fencer.
And I'm Rodrigo Ross.
And today, Woosah is our topic.
Say it with a level of calming energy and wind.
As I rub my ears.
Woosah. So what are we talking about today?
We're talking about this thing like creating a stress relief plan.
A plan?
A plan. Because you got to be ready for this stuff.
Like an emergency?
Yeah, it's kind of like
evacuation plan?
Spring cleaning the mind, right? So
what?
Yeah, I know. So think about spring cleaning. Spring cleaning is kind of one of those fresh start effect. You know, so like spring cleaning, New Year's, your birthday, like when those days come. You know, normally a lot of people have some type of plan that they're creating. You know, at New Year's you got resolutions. You know, now that X age, you know.
What is the X?
What is the X? Well, your X is correct for sure. So
yeah. So spring cleaning.
Spring cleaning. Yeah, spring cleaning the mind.
Side note, do you know where this concept of spring cleaning comes from?
I don't. Help me.
So, glad you asked, right? In the 19th century in America, before we had vacuum cleaners and stuff, primarily around the country, around that March, April time is when it was warm enough for people to open up windows and open up doors and sweep out and release and get rid of all of the contaminants that may have been pent up in your house over the long, cold season. And so typically that coincided with the first day of spring or spring-like weather, and thus the idea. Now, once the vacuum cleaner came along and these other wonderful inventions to clean up, we don't necessarily have to spring clean. You can clean anytime. But before then, early 19th century, it was literally when you were able to open all your doors and all your windows and just release all of this stuff.
That's how you handle that during that time?
I bet you think that you're really funny right now. And you're not, Keith. But that was a little side note fact for you. So spring cleaning. But I can see
Thank
the
you for
metaphor
that personal
here.
story.
Whatever. But I can see the metaphor here. Like this whole idea of spring cleaning is when after you've come through a quote unquote cold season, right? Or a season where you felt down and you felt darker more than you felt light and that kind of stuff. Now's the time for you to just kind of open and release all of that stuff. Get rid of it and open up the space for some new, fresh, regenerative air. See what I did there?
All right. I see. I mean, when you start looking at it, so some of the research that when I was preparing for this right here, looked up 33% of people report feeling some extreme stress.
I'm surprised it's not higher. I'm surprised it's not higher, particularly after what we just lived through as human beings. I thought it would be higher.
Okay, and then 77% of people experience stress that affects their physical health.
And now that I believe. Okay, that sounds more like
that part.
Okay.
And I guess when I go in the bathroom, do I
need to stop you here?
No.
You making me nervous.
No.
Story.
When I come around the corner, I can look in the mirror, but seem like certain part of my body like comes in first. And then the rest of it comes. And I tell you what.
And this is a direct effect of stress. You're blaming stress, not the Oreos and the Thin Mints that you put into the refrigerator.
Well, when that period of time when I've had to indulge in those, I'm experiencing something.
Oh, not just greediness.
Huh?
No.
Well, but I think there's a
correlation.
yes, it is. Yes, it is for sure. And then so like 48% of the people have trouble sleeping.
Sure.
Because of stress.
That. You know what? I'm a part of that 48%. Like there are times when there are so many things that are going on in my world. I absolutely have those moments where my sleep patterns are interrupted. I can't sleep at night. Like it's to the point now where I literally have to get up and just write a list of all of the things that I have to do. And when I look at the list, it's overwhelming, but there is something about releasing it out of my head onto a piece of paper,
right?
So that I know I won't forget and I'll get to it that next day. That at least helps me calm down a little bit and try and get some rest. But I am absolutely a part of that 48% who my sleep patterns are completely thrown off when I'm stressed out.
So you titled this Woosah. Do you have a Woosah saying or something? So like mine is.
Yes, I do have a Woosah saying. What's yours?
Mine is I gotta count 1, 2, 3. And like it for me, it's not like 1, 2, it's like all right, 1, 2, 3. And that like causes me to
do a dance recital, 5, 6, Fosse, jazz hands.
Nah,
like,
I don't know that.
Yeah,
that
I don't understand.
No, so if it is when I wake up in the morning and I feel that moment that the alarm woke me up, but that next moment when that alarm goes off, if something is not triggered in that very moment,
you're gonna go back to sleep.
You done doze back off.
So that's when you say you're 1, 2, 3.
Yep. And for me, it's just a practice of like activation.
Really?
Yeah.
It's kind of like back in the day when you was running races with your little friends outside. You say, "Oh, your mother said go. 1, 2, 3."
Yes. Yes. If I'm sitting down and again feeling a little sluggish, and it's just like, oh God, this burden is on me. Like activation. Let me get up.
And not even a slow.
No, it ain't a fast one. It's kind of like, all right, 1, 2, 3. Just get up.
That's pretty fast, Iron Man.
What is your Woosah?
So my Woosah is I have a saying that I have to either think through, or sometimes I literally have to go in the mirror and say it to myself. And it's I'm sure so many people have heard this. It's like, you cannot wait for the rain to stop. You got to learn how to dance in the rain. And for me, that's what stress is. For me, it's this overwhelming feeling that I can't be successful. I can't accomplish what it is I need to accomplish. There's too much. I'm not good enough. I'm not big enough, or whatever, to get something done in this moment when so much is coming at me. And I need to just wait to the perfect and marriage of time and opportunity and space, and sometimes that perfection never happens. Things are not, and you still got to get stuff done. And so sometimes you cannot wait for the storm to pass. You just got to learn how to dance in the rain. And that's what I have to do. I be like, okay, it's go time. Let's dance.
Hair and all.
Well, I just change out that hair.
That makes it a little easy. Okay.
I ain't hung up on that.
Okay.
You can't wait for, or you can't get hung up in, this is not the way I thought it was gonna go, and this is not the way it's supposed to be, and I wanted this, and this to happen, because my grandmother used to say, you know how to make God smile? Tell him what your plan is.
Yeah,
right?
There you go.
So, can't wait for the storm to pass. Gotta learn how to dance in the rain.
All right. I like that. Right? I like that. Next time it rain, well, I would say I would go out there and dance in the rain, but the other day I got out, got to my destination. It was raining pretty hard, and I had a choice either to just go back home or go in the destination, but I had to wait out the rain because
you wasn't going. Yeah. You wasn't dancing in the rain. I dance in the rain. It's fine.
That's a song, Dancing in the Rain. Oh, no.
That's Walking In. That is so not the song. I'm like, what song is that? That is so not the song. Oh, good. This is causing me some stress right now, the fact that you don't know these songs.
I know. So when you get stressed, is there a common symptom that you experience, or do you know? Like for me, I know when my shoulders and my neck just get a little tense, I just know I need to settle down. And then for me, when I get to that place right there, Like yoga is my thing. Like I know that next day for my workout, it's like I'm not doing the heavy lifting. I'm gonna go do me some yoga.
Sure.
Then I downward dog be getting a brother because I can't stand up on my arms much.
You get the tremble.
I like when I gotta scratch out just a little bit. But it's definitely a relaxing moment. I don't use yoga probably like the purist does.
Right.
But for me, it is that time of just releasing and stretching some of the tight parts that I have, and it does wonders for me.
I am not disciplined enough for yoga because they say, you gotta quiet your mind. I can't do that. I'm thinking about all kinds of stuff and what I want to eat, and I love the practice in the physical benefits of it, like the strength you build and how loose and stretched out, but the whole calming, quiet, get one with yourself, I struggle with that.
Man, I'm gonna tell you the best part of yoga is I don't know. Again, I'm not a purist, but that part where they just tell you, to lay there.
That's the worst part for me.
Relax your mind. They got sessions out there like a whole hour long of that, and I when I tell you
I can't do
to
it.
listen to that individual, that instructor, to kind of walk you through, like you don't know that you're tense, and like they'll say relax your lip. And the next thing my lips. But it drops you. Because you're set in this place.
Yeah.
To say relax your shoulders, and then next thing I know, well, dang, my shoulders were a little tense. Relax your fingers. And then if they just tell you to wiggle your fingers in that moment, those simple things like puts your mind at rest, and it's just incredible.
I don't have that same relationship with yoga. I'm preoccupied with stuff. The instructor kind of goes far away, and I'm thinking of other things. Like I have to get more disciplined with taking the opportunity for quiet moments to for real be quiet, because that's just not my thing. And I don't even know if during the event or the situation or the time where I'm feeling the most stress, if I recognize the physical manifestations of it. After the fact, I think I do. And mine is directly related to eating. Like, I know for me, my reward center is you were really stressed today, it was really tough, or you really had this set of challenges that's causing you a little bit of angst. You should reward yourself with those Oreos. You deserve it. Go ahead and eat those Oreos. And then when my buttons don't meet, I'm completely and totally shocked. Like, why is this happening? You want to know why? Because last week when you were stressed out over a project you was doing, you ate a whole thing of Oreos every day because you felt like you deserved it because you managed to get through the stress of the day. And those are the physical ramifications I have because I reward myself with food and shoes. But it's not shoes from a superficial standpoint.
Who you want to believe that one?
It is true. It is not shoes from a superficial standpoint. So one thing I've learned about myself too in this whole spring cleaning, figure out how to de-stress, is that I am a visual person. Like I love going to museums and looking at art, and I love the way colors and patterns and textures come together. I like to see the differences on how stuff looks in the light and not in the light, and different perspectives and that kind of. I'm a visual person, and for me, shoes satiate that visual experience that I need, that helps me de-stress. So going to look at shoes and nice clothes, and I love to go to North Park Mall here in Dallas because it is filled with art. So not only am I looking at the shoes, sometimes I don't even make it in the store. I'm just walking around the mall looking at all the different art installations, because visually that helps me focus on something else and kind of get out of my head and de-stress. But shoes will do it, because do you see some of these cute styles they got out here for the summer of 2023? Oh my gosh, it is so excellent.
So for those of us who are not privileged to be able to
and sneakers, don't get me started with
indulge in looking and then purchasing.
And then when you're feeling down and you want to hang your head and you look down and say, do you see these cute shoes I got on? The world is a wonderful place. Do you see these cute shoes? It just makes you happy, and poof, the stress is gone.
But then, I know you feel your bank account says, hey,
well,
I'm a little tense over here. Can you help me relax? And the only way a bank account know how to relax if more money come in there. So
in that regard, it is a vicious cycle. However, it is a little bit of
your bank account be like, hey, help me out over here.
Yeah.
I understand
I
you
am stressed.
but
When I look at it like, did I buy that much stuff? Yikes. Okay.
Yeah, you did. So
yeah, you did.
I mean, you mentioned earlier about a plan. And so one of the things that when we talk about stress, you got to create a plan for yourself. And so when you take
what goes in this plan?
Yeah, I think there's different things that go in there. So when you think of stress is those stressors divided by stress relievers. That equals stress. And so when we talk about stressors,
you know some math formulas
well, I try to drop a little knowledge every now and then.
Okay.
You know, the stress. So stressors are things that stress you out. What are those things that stress you out? We talked about a few of those things right there.
Yep.
And then those, what we have to do those, like, how do we increase our stress relievers? You know, so different things.
Whatever those stress relievers are.
Yeah, you know, so.
Within reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't be like me and eat Oreos, because then that brings on a whole different level of stress.
Right, but is that really the reliever, though?
For me, it is, and it's not a healthy reliever. It is definitely, unfortunately,
healthy relievers is what we have to get to.
Yes, that's what we have to get to in this formula.
Yeah, and I think the
Professor Vincent.
I think the why helps with a lot of that.
Absolutely,
you know,
absolutely.
Like a membership to the Y. If you utilize your membership to the Y, like, it can just help. I think when I look at in the morning time when I come in and work out. When I see people with these regular routines of working out, and then not just the workout. So if you're a treadmill walker or runner, like, try the elliptical machine one day. Like, do and we call it the beast. What's that?
The stair climber?
Yeah, boy, that thing. You know what? I am starting to like that thing.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, because
who likes that thing?
Because get my heart rate up.
Okay.
And then for whatever reasons, like, it helps me relieve stress.
See, but I am not a fitness area exerciser. I'm definitely a group X kind of person. Like, I like the instructor to tell me what to do. I feed off being in a class with other people. They can hold you accountable. As soon as I go in a class, the first thing they're going to ask me, don't you go home and eat no cookies and no cupcakes tonight? And I know when I come to that class, they're going to ask me, did you eat cookies at the class last week?
Right.
I don't want to have to lie. So I'll say I only had 2. Whereas if they wouldn't have asked me, I probably would have ate like 6.
Wow.
But you're right. But you get those group X classes, right? And that fellowship and that camaraderie. In the group X setting with a membership, right? Or not, sometimes.
Right.
At the Y.
Yeah.
So I feel you on that one.
Yeah, and your relievers, like, you got to know what's good for you. And we talked about the healthy part also. And then you mentioned something earlier about writing some things down. So, like, creating a journal. Now, everybody's probably doesn't have the notepad and the pen, next to them all the time. But what you do have, I would 99.99% of the people have a phone. So you don't need so find the little note section on your phone. Like, ideas for me, I will write down ideas, boom. I got my little note section all sectioned out. And when I hear an idea, when I hear a quote, like, I'm typing in that space. And now I know where to come back to if I need a little motivation.
Is this where these random ideas that you send me at these random times, is this where they come from? This little note?
Oh yeah. I will be cutting the grass on a Saturday morning, and I will stop in the middle of the yard and pull out my phone and write my little idea down, crank my mower back up and keep on going, so that I can just declutter the mind, right? I can just dump this stuff. And so now I'm not just stacking on, stuff and ideas and what I got to do next. Like, I'm putting them in a specific place that I can now go back and follow up.
That's a pretty good practice.
I tell you, the tool that I do like on Microsoft is that to-do list.
I love to-do.
Man, that gosh.
That has saved my life. And the fact that it goes with you everywhere. Like, I am definitely a sticky notes person. I have sticky notes If anyone ever has a chance to visit me in my office, you will see. And I love all of the cute sticky notes, the see-through ones, the colorful ones, the ones with initials on them. I love sticky notes. But the thing is, especially now where you move around to a lot of different places and work, or you work from various different environments, you can't always take your sticky notes with you. But invariably, there was something I was supposed to remember on one of those sticky notes. Right. And so to do lets you do that. Yep. Like, it is literally electronic for me, electronic sticky notes. I can just jot something down, put it in my to-do, and it follows you just like your email. It's a Microsoft product, and so it's easy as you can get your email on your phone, on your PC, on your tablet. You can get your to-do, and you can take those lists with you or your personal sticky notes everywhere you go. I love it. And you can assign it to other people.
I know.
So I can say, Keith, this is your to-do. You never to-do it, though.
Okay, and I'm gonna keep consistent with that too. How about that right there? But this other thing you got to do though is like create a choice reduction plan. All right.
What?
Right. So, and you may not appreciate this idea
probably
right here.
Not. Okay.
It is, for example. Every day you got to get up. Let's just talk the work week, and you got to decide on what you're gonna wear.
Oh.
Okay. I know you were gonna say this. I know.
Okay.
But look, what about this?
Okay.
What about if at the beginning of the week you just determine what you're gonna wear for the week?
No.
And so, I know you weren't gonna agree. But then what it does is that it eliminates one little stressor from you for that particular day. And so when you got to take out your clothes every day, and like you haven't decided on that, now it's like when you wake up in the morning, you already just all tensed up and ready to get out the day.
Before, I wouldn't necessarily do it in the morning, and the only time that's effective is when I'm traveling. So when you travel, you take your clothes, you're thinking, okay, I have this and this and this to do. I'm going to wear this. I'm going to wear this. And so you already have the outfits kind of pre-planned. And so you just pluck them out. But when I'm home in the vastness of my closet, and then you just never know what mood.
Okay. Let's go back there, because I think you just used a very good example.
Okay.
Is that when you prepare for when you're going out of town, right? Like, you eliminate options. That's one less thing you got to think about.
And it's so stressful, and it's terrible. And I've had times when I was out of town, and I was like, I don't like this.
Because here's how I plan my week.
And then I go buy something else, and now I got more stuff.
Okay, and so so this conversation that we're having today is only for the baseline.
Okay.
And so when you have other things that are a little bit deeper, we're gonna recommend that you not refer to this podcast.
A professional is what you're saying.
Well, we utilize some other resources. One that can help us to go a little bit deeper into what the issue may be. So in this case, here's how my week goes. But beginning of the week,
sure.
I'm a set of shirts for the week. And so each day, all I got to do, pick out the shirt, pick out a pair of pants, and we're off to the race.
What if you get to like Thursday or Friday, and all you got is these two colors, and you're not feeling neither one of them colors?
Hey, then you can make a choice, right? But on the consistent part is that I got a set of shirts to wear. So I'm not worried about it in the morning time. Oh man, what I'm going to put on what? It's just boom and boom. Now for some, that may be a little easier. For you, that may be a little bit, because you're a dresser. I mean, like
I am, and I have to see what the day,
with the mood. I get it. But I'm just what I'm doing here is just putting out some examples.
But I can see where that could be eliminating so many choices.
Because I think you used a prime example of how it eliminates a stress reliever.
But the stress reliever for me is putting together the outfit. The stress reliever is putting together the outfit, because I'm an aesthetic person. I told you I was a visual person. Right. I love the way that comes together.
This whole podcast ain't about you though, so we're just putting out some tips for folks who are listening there. So
there are people who listen to the podcast that can identify with what.
There are a couple. But what you do have to know is that you got to be able to identify your triggers.
Absolutely, right. That we agree.
And so whatever those are going to look different for everybody. For everybody. Now, one of those triggers now.
You're a trigger for me. You're causing me stress right now.
I know. But folks are on this social media. Now I know social media is a thing. Now I don't mean to step on anybody's toes out there.
What you doing it right now?
I know, but I'm about to reach it up and like boom right now, because like Do you have to be on all of them?
Why not? You get different content from all of them.
You get different content, but I would dare to say most of the content that folks are getting may not be the best for them. And so just pick one. And be able to ride
Why should I?
Because if you're on TikTok, if you're on Instagram, if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on Facebook, if you're still on MySpace, like,
did you say MySpace?
Somebody out there still on it because it still exists.
Oh,
so,
good
but
gracious.
Those are one. It takes up time. So let's just call it 5 minutes for both of them. If you did that, like that's 25 minutes.
Okay.
On your own social media.
Well,
so now
you're talking about laying still and listening to your fingers wiggle for an hour. Why can't I take 25 minutes on social media if that de-stresses me?
Well, I'm talking about exercising for first.
Well, that's exercise. I'm swiping.
I guess y'all building up some little strength in your finger there. I guess so. But like just like don't indulge in those things.
Overindulge.
Yeah.
Too much of anything.
Is not a good thing. It's not a good thing.
And there is definitely content on social media that will add to your stress levels. But there's definitely some stuff on social media too that reduces the stress. I'm
not talking about that. I'm talking about the overindulgence part of things. You know, so too much of anything it ain't necessarily good for you, right?
True.
All right. True. And so now I'm gonna say this last one before we close out though. Sometimes you got to reframe your thinking. Now,
okay.
Something. You know, it's like, let's just say as an individual.
Let's just say?
Yeah, let's just say.
Okay.
Like, you ain't worth me stressing.
Oh, so let's just say it's an individual that's really stressing you out. And so that's how you have to reframe your thinking. Yeah. Like, is that person really worth it?
Are they really? Are they really worth it?
It depends on who the person is.
And hey, look. I'm not giving you a catch-all for everything. I'm just saying that sometimes you got to rethink and so you're thinking in reference to whether that's an individual or whether that's a situation. Sometimes we just got to look at things a little bit different.
Organization or a company,
you know. And so if you are in an organization and something's not going right, like okay. Choose your battles. Mm-hmm. Like, is that something really worth fighting over and causing yourself
and stressing out?
And when you look around, no one else is worried about it. Now, of course, there are topics out there that you might need to fight a little harder for. So we're not talking about that. But sometimes we get up in the pettiness of things, and it's just really not worth it. And so just recalibrate your mind and your thinking just a little bit.
You know, there's something to be said about that. I remember not too long ago, there was almost anarchy because all folks had to wear the same color shirt at our welcome centers. And the levels of stress that it caused some people, and some of us were like, why? It's a shirt.
You know what?
But some people were up in arms like, I don't have a choice on what colors and how'd you get to this color and it doesn't go with the undertones in my skin and the flecks in my eyes. It's like.
But I ain't never heard Mickey Mouse complain about
it's a shirt color.
I ain't never heard Mickey Mouse complain about his uniform.
Because you talk to Mickey regularly.
I'm just saying, ain't an article been out on Mickey having problems with his uniform.
Where he put it? On social media where you don't go.
Hey, you know what? Hey, Lachey Leonard is our executive producer. I want to say thank you to her for making us sound so great all the time.
Even when we say Mickey Mouse never wrote about not liking his uniform. And thank you all for listening to the CAUSENETIC podcast.
On this episode called Woosah.
I love it. Subscribe and listen to us weekly.
Hey, and don't be shy. Give us a 5-star review.
And as always,
be dynamic,
be phenomenal,
and be CAUSENETIC.